The Interstellar Combat Academy floated in open space like a metal city. Ships arrived every day from many worlds. Students from different species trained there to become soldiers, guards, and commanders. The academy was famous. It had never been defeated, never destroyed, and never embarrassed. At least that was what everyone believed. Most students believed strength came from size, sharp claws, thick skin, or natural weapons. Some had 4 arms. Some had metal bones. Some could lift heavy machines without effort. They looked at smaller beings with quiet pride. They believed the galaxy was simple, strong ruled weak. Humans came from a death world, but many aliens did not understand what that truly meant. They only heard stories. High gravity, dangerous animals, constant storms, endless conflict. To most students, it sounded exaggerated. Humans were small, soft, no claws, no armor, no visible weapons. Many believed humans survived only because of tools and machines. When the human arrived, no one paid much attention. His name was Eli. He was average height for a human with dark hair and tired eyes. He carried a small bag and wore the simple academy uniform. He did not boast. He did not stare. He walked calmly through the wide halls while larger students pushed past him. The intake officer scanned his data and paused for a moment. Earth, Deathworld classification. The officer looked at Eli again and shrugged. He placed him in the lowest combat group. No special warnings, no special training. Eli did not complain. During the first week, students trained in open arenas. Gravity was low to suit most species. Eli noticed this immediately. His steps felt light, too light. He adjusted his balance and stayed quiet. Other students noticed him too. A tall reptile-like student laughed openly during warm-up drills. His scales were thick and dark. His tail dragged across the floor. "That is a human," he said loudly. "From the death world." Others laughed with him. "They look breakable," another said. Eli heard them. He said nothing. He focused on breathing and movement. On Earth, silence often meant survival. The instructors allowed mock matches for practice. Most were controlled. Strength limits were set. No serious injuries were allowed. The reptile student, whose name was Rask, watched Eli closely. Rask was famous in the academy. He had won many matches. He enjoyed the attention. When Rask stepped into the center arena, the crowd gathered. He pointed at Eli with one claw. "I challenge the human," he said. The arena went quiet for a moment. Then laughter returned. Many students leaned forward, excited. This would be entertainment. Eli looked at the instructor. The instructor hesitated. "This is a training match only," the instructor said. "Minimal force." Rask smiled. "Of course," he said. Eli stepped into the arena. The floor adjusted under his feet. The gravity still felt wrong but manageable. Rask towered over him. The difference was clear. Thick limbs, strong muscles, natural armor. "You can surrender," Rask said. Eli shook his head slowly. "I will defend myself," he said. The signal sounded. Rask moved fast, faster than most expected for his size. His tail swung low. Eli jumped back. The tail missed by inches. The crowd cheered. Rask attacked again, claws flashing. Eli blocked with his arms, redirecting the strikes instead of stopping them. The impact still hurt. Even controlled strikes from Rask were heavy. Eli retreated, careful not to slip. He felt the low gravity pulling him off rhythm. He adjusted again. Rask grew annoyed. "Stop running," Rask said. He charged forward and threw a full punch. The instructor opened his mouth to stop it, too late. The punch was strong, stronger than allowed. It would have broken bones. Eli moved. He stepped inside the attack instead of away. His fist rose in a tight motion, short, direct. There was a sharp sound, not loud, not dramatic, just a sound like hard wood snapping. Rask froze, his eyes went wide. Then his body fell forward and hit the floor. The arena was silent. No one cheered, no one laughed. Medical drones rushed in. Instructors shouted commands. Students stood frozen, staring at the fallen champion. Eli stood still. His breathing was steady, but his hand trembled slightly. He clenched it and relaxed. "I warned him," Eli said quietly. The medical drones lifted Rask. Alarms blinked red and yellow: serious injury, bone damage, internal trauma. The instructor stared at Eli in disbelief. "What did you do?" he asked. "I punched," Eli replied. Security arrived and surrounded the arena. Students were ordered back. Whispers spread like fire. "That was one hit. He didn't even try." "Humans can do that." Eli was escorted away. He did not resist. He did not argue. In a private room, senior staff replayed the footage again and again. Slow motion, angle changes, power readings. There was no enhancement. No hidden weapon. No illegal tech, just muscle, timing, and force. A senior instructor rubbed his face. "That strike was controlled," he said slowly. "If it was—" No one finished the sentence. Outside, students gathered in small groups. Fear replaced laughter. The idea they believed was broken. A human had not used rage. A human had not lost control. A human had held back. In the medical wing, Rask survived, but his future as a fighter was over. In the academy records, a new note appeared under one simple word: human. The academy did not yet understand it, but everything had already begun to change. The aftermath of the arena fight spread quickly throughout the academy. Students whispered in corridors and lounges. Even the instructors could not hide their shock. A human had struck a powerful fighter and injured him severely with a single blow. The academy had never seen anything like it. Eli returned to his dorm quietly. He moved like any other student, keeping his eyes on the floor. He avoided conversation. Some students stared at him as they passed. A few dared to nod. Most turned away quickly. Fear made them cautious. Rask's incident was now the main topic in every discussion room. Hollow screens replayed the punch from multiple angles. Students gathered in groups, studying the slow-motion images. They could not understand how Eli had generated such force. His frame was average. His build not especially muscular. No enhancements or armor. Nothing seemed special at first glance. Instructors discussed the event behind closed doors. Senior officials reviewed the footage again and again. Some began questioning the academy's methods. How could one human do something so extraordinary? Was the academy underestimating Deathworlders all this time? One senior instructor, a large alien with 4 arms named Terrell, spoke to his colleagues in a private meeting. His voice was low, serious. "This is not an accident. That human has trained in ways we cannot measure. He does not rely on brute strength alone." Another instructor, a small, winged creature called Lyra, shook her head. "We cannot ignore this. Other students are frightened. They will lose confidence in themselves if we do not act." Meanwhile, Eli was called to the administrative wing. The headmaster, a tall humanoid with pale skin and golden eyes, sat behind a wide desk. Hollow readers displayed all recent footage of the fight. He gestured for Eli to sit. "You understand the gravity of what happened?" the headmaster asked calmly. "I understand," Eli replied. His voice steady. "Many believe you cheated," the headmaster continued. "They think you used a hidden weapon or illegal technique. They cannot accept that you did this on skill and human strength alone." Eli shook his head. "No cheat, no weapon. I only used what I learned on my planet." The headmaster leaned back. "Your strength is unprecedented. The council may review you for special training or isolation. You must cooperate. We need to understand the limits of human potential." Eli nodded, understanding the subtle warning. He had not sought attention, but the attention now sought him. Outside, other students reacted differently. Some avoided him completely, crossing halls quickly when they saw him. Others watched him from a distance, curiosity mixed with caution. A few attempted to challenge him in secret, believing that perhaps they could overcome him with strategy and teamwork. During the next training session, Eli observed carefully. He did not rush. The low-gravity arena still felt unnatural, but he adjusted. Students tried to provoke him with minor attacks. He blocked and moved away efficiently. No one dared strike fully. They remembered Rask's defeat and felt the weight of fear. One group of students, smaller and less confident species, approached him hesitantly. A winged student named Farah spoke first. "We want to understand," she said softly. "We have questions about your abilities. We are not enemies." Eli studied them. He recognized genuine curiosity. "I can answer some," he said, "but you must not tell others everything. They are still afraid." They agreed. Over the next days, Eli explained simple things: how Earth gravity trained his bones, how hunting large predators built reflexes, how constant danger taught patience and timing, how humans endured pain and learned to channel anger without losing control. They listened carefully, absorbing everything. Word spread slowly, but deliberately. Some students began to respect humans more than before. Others felt growing unease. Their confidence faltered when they remembered how easily Eli defeated Rask. Instructors were not idle. They began small exercises to test students' limits against Eli's techniques. Some failed quickly. Some survived, but with difficulty. No one could predict the outcome of a real confrontation. The Academy realized that its understanding of strength was incomplete. Then came the challenge from another elite student, a large amphibian named Corin. Corin had trained with heavy weapons and specialized in brute force attacks. He believed he could defeat any human with careful preparation. He requested a closed match, away from prying eyes. The Academy allowed it, cautious of public panic. The private arena was small. Gravity adjusted for most species, but Eli noticed immediately. Corin's limbs were strong and precise. He launched the first strike with a heavy punch. Eli dodged slightly, allowing the force to glance off him. Then he countered. The fight was fast, brutal, and efficient. Corin underestimated timing and endurance. Eli used precise movements, conserving energy while avoiding damage. Within moments, Corin was incapacitated. Not dead, not permanently injured, but unable to continue the match. The private fight caused a ripple effect. Instructors realized that humans could not be measured by size or strength alone. They could survive, endure, and respond with skill that surpassed expectation. The Academy began rewriting training guidelines. Manuals were updated. Instructors discussed Earth-born humans with increased seriousness. Students whispered about the human who could win with only one punch, yet remain calm and controlled. Rumors reached every hall and every dormitory. Eli continued training quietly. He never sought attention. He never boasted. Still, the Academy had changed. Fear had replaced mockery and curiosity replaced arrogance. Students were cautious, instructors were careful, and Eli remained a constant, quiet force that challenged old beliefs. Then one morning, a message arrived. It was an official request from a high-ranking galactic military observer. The observer wanted to see a demonstration of human combat abilities. The message was brief, formal, and firm. The Academy officials knew they could not refuse. Students heard the news immediately. Panic spread among those who had only recently regained confidence. The human, the quiet one who had shocked them all, was now to face scrutiny from the highest levels of authority. Eli prepared as he always did, calm, focused, ready. He knew that survival depended on discipline, not pride. He did not need to impress anyone. He only needed to act when the time came. The Academy, once proud and confident, now waited. Everything would change, and no one knew exactly how. Fear, respect, and curiosity mixed in the halls. The silent human from Earth had become the center of attention, and no one could predict what would happen next. The Galactic military observer arrived quietly, his ship hovering near the Academy's main landing pad. His presence was enough to draw attention from every corner of the school. Students stopped training. Instructors paused drills. Rumors spread faster than wildfire. The observer was not here to watch ordinary events. He had come for humans. Eli stood in the training arena, waiting. He did not show emotion. He did not speak unnecessarily. He watched the gravity controls adjust to a level approximating Earth's. Most students staggered as their bodies struggled to cope. The observer's request had made clear that every demonstration would be tested under extreme conditions. The observer, a tall being with multiple eyes and translucent skin, studied Eli with intense curiosity. He spoke through a translator device, his voice calm but authoritative. "We wish to see the capabilities of this human, all skills, endurance, speed, reaction, and combat effectiveness. You will perform as you naturally fight." Instructors surrounded Eli. Some were tense, some were excited. They knew this demonstration would show the true limits of human potential. They also feared it. No one wanted to witness a disaster. The first test was endurance. Heavy weights were applied to Eli's body using magnetic fields simulating extreme gravity. Most students could barely move under the strain. Eli moved naturally, his breathing steady, his muscles fluid. Every step was precise. He lifted, turned, and adjusted without visible struggle. Observers took notes. Sensors recorded every heartbeat, every pulse, every muscle response. Nothing indicated artificial enhancement, only raw human endurance, honed by survival on a death world. Next came pain resistance. Students were asked to strike him with controlled force in sensitive areas. Others flinched, screamed, or stumbled. Eli absorbed the strikes. He countered movements with careful adjustments. Even when struck hard, he did not falter. Pain did not dominate him. Discipline ruled. Other students watched in awe and fear. Some had previously mocked humans. Now they whispered, cautious and respectful. The idea of underestimating a Deathworlder no longer existed. Then came combat simulation. A group of elite alien students, known for strength and agility, were selected to test him. Each carried standard academy weapons. They attacked in sequence, planning to overwhelm him with numbers and strategy. Eli remained calm. He dodged, blocked, and redirected attacks with minimal movement. Each strike he countered was precise. Each dodge was efficient. Within minutes, the alien group was exhausted. None had been defeated in record time before. The observer's eyes widened. Notes flew across the screens, filled with numbers, charts, and calculations. No one could deny what they had seen. The final demonstration was improvisation. Weapons were removed. Enemies appeared from different directions, simulated hazards struck, and environmental dangers were introduced. Eli moved without hesitation. He anticipated attacks before they came. He adapted instantly. No trap or force could unbalance him. He reacted like a predator, calm and calculated. When the demonstration ended, the arena fell silent. Observers and instructors exchanged looks. The truth could no longer be ignored. Humans were not just survivors. They were precise, adaptable, and formidable in ways no other species could match. They could not be measured by traditional strength or size alone. The observer finally spoke. His voice was calm, but his multiple eyes reflected intensity. "This is beyond our expectation. The human species demonstrates capabilities unmatched by many known warriors. The Academy must reconsider its classifications and training methods. Humans are not to be underestimated." Instructors nodded, but some could not hide their fear. The results of the demonstration caused a ripple of unease. The Academy, once confident and certain, now faced the uncomfortable truth. Strength was not simple, and humans were not ordinary. Students reacted differently. Some avoided Eli, still frightened by his calm yet lethal presence. Others began to study him quietly, hoping to learn techniques and survival instincts. Rumors became more than whispers. Some speculated about Earth and Deathworlds. Others began to question their own abilities. In the days following the demonstration, academy policies began to change. Humans were now classified as high-risk students. They required monitoring and special consideration. Training exercises were adjusted to account for human abilities. Instructors revised combat manuals and protocols. The fear of humans, combined with curiosity and respect, transformed the entire academy culture. Eli, however, remained as he had always been. Calm, focused, and disciplined. He did not seek attention. He did not demand respect. He only trained, only acted when necessary, and maintained the control that had made him exceptional. A few students tried secret challenges, hoping to test their luck or skill. None succeeded. The academy learned that humans were unpredictable, disciplined, and almost impossible to defeat without full effort and preparation. The perception of human weakness was completely shattered. By the end of the week, the academy had changed. Fear had replaced arrogance, and respect replaced mockery. Instructors taught caution and observation. Students learned humility, and Eli continued quietly, a living example of Deathworld endurance and skill. Outside observers and officials began communicating with the academy. Some proposed recruitment programs, others suggested political caution. The presence of a capable human fighter could not be ignored. The galaxy had noticed, and the academy could not return to its former ways. Eli trained as always, ready for the next challenge. He knew that attention brought danger. He also knew that control, discipline, and understanding were more powerful than raw strength. The academy had learned this the hard way, and the lesson would continue to unfold in the days ahead. The academy had barely recovered from the observer's visit when new orders arrived. High-ranking officials demanded that Eli demonstrate his full capabilities in a controlled environment. This time, the tests were to push him beyond training simulations into real-world conditions that few aliens could survive. The academy had no choice but to comply. Eli was led to a specially constructed arena. The gravity was cranked to levels close to Earth's, and environmental hazards were introduced, simulated storms, moving obstacles, uneven terrain. Every alien student in the academy watched from a safe distance, curiosity and fear in their eyes. They had seen him defeat strong fighters, but now he would face conditions that truly tested survival. Instructors prepared meticulously. They positioned sensors to monitor every muscle, every heartbeat, every reaction. No one wanted to underestimate the human again, but everyone feared what he could do. Eli stood calmly, adjusting his stance, ready for the challenge. The first test was mobility under extreme gravity. He moved through obstacles, jumped over gaps, and climbed steep walls with ease. Aliens with natural advantages struggled. Some fell or stumbled immediately. Eli's controlled movements revealed the difference between mere strength and trained resilience. His body was built for adaptation, endurance, and survival. Next came combat with multiple opponents. Elite alien students surrounded him. Each carried standard weapons, expecting to overwhelm him. Eli did not panic. He moved with precision, using timing and balance to redirect attacks. Blows glanced off, and opponents found themselves unprepared for his speed and judgment. The demonstration was not about brute force. It was about mastery of movement, anticipation, and instinct. Observers recorded everything. The data shocked them. Human muscles, reflexes, and endurance exceeded expectations. Every simulation confirmed one truth: humans were born for survival under conditions that no other species had evolved to handle. Deathworld upbringing created instincts that could not be replicated, only trained. The final phase of testing involved endurance under constant stress. Environmental hazards were intensified. Wind, heat, obstacles, and simulated predator attacks forced Eli to make instant decisions. He maintained control. His body adapted naturally to each condition. He moved fluidly, avoiding traps, countering attacks, and conserving energy when necessary. No alien student could sustain this pace for more than a few minutes. Eli did so without hesitation, without showing strain. The academy instructors were awed and frightened. Their training manuals, strategies, and assumptions were all being rewritten in their minds. Humans could not be measured by the same metrics. Size, weapons, and raw strength meant little when compared to discipline, adaptability, and instinct. Meanwhile, outside communication channels were active. Word of the humans' abilities spread across the galaxy. Some factions expressed interest in recruiting him, others were concerned. If one human could dominate in controlled conditions, what would happen in combat between worlds? The balance of power had shifted, even if subtly, and Eli's presence was the spark. Eli did not seek fame. He did not seek glory. He moved and acted as his training dictated. But his calm, controlled, and unstoppable presence forced the Academy to recognize a fundamental truth. Humans could not be ignored. The Academy had to rethink everything. Training schedules were adjusted, and new strategies were introduced. Alien students who once laughed now watched carefully, learning from him silently. Fear, respect, and caution replaced arrogance and mockery. The day after the demonstration, a few brave students approached Eli. A small alien with soft fur named Tylo spoke first. "We want to understand," Tylo said. "How do you control your body so well? How do you endure so much?" Eli paused for a moment, then explained simply. He spoke about survival instincts, constant training, understanding one's limits, and responding to danger with focus rather than fear. The students listened closely. Their respect grew, and fear mixed with admiration. By the week's end, Academy protocols had shifted dramatically. Humans were no longer underestimated. They were treated as high-priority beings, studied carefully, and integrated into advanced training programs. Instructors acknowledged that humans had changed the Academy, perhaps forever. Eli continued his routine quietly. He trained, he observed, and he prepared. He knew attention brought challenges. He also knew control, patience, and skill were more powerful than raw strength alone. The Academy, the students, and the galaxy had seen a glimpse of human potential, and it would be impossible to return to ignorance. Rumors began to spread outside the Academy. Factions across star systems debated the implications of humans as warriors. Some feared recruitment, others desired alliances. The presence of one human capable of such feats caused discussions, strategies, and politics to shift quietly, yet decisively. Within the Academy, every student had changed. Fear had become respect, and respect had become curiosity. Aliens who once dominated every exercise now approached training with caution, learning from observation rather than pride alone. Humans were no longer seen as weak or fragile. They were survivors, adaptable and capable, and their potential could not be measured by size or strength alone. Eli, as always, remained calm. He did not boast. He did not fight unnecessarily. He only moved with precision, discipline, and understanding. The Academy had changed because of him, and the galaxy was beginning to notice. What started as one simple human in an ordinary academy had become a turning point, and no one could yet predict the full consequences of that presence. The day the threat arrived, the Academy was on high alert. Scouts reported that a hostile fleet had approached the system, believing the Academy to be vulnerable. Panic spread among students and instructors alike. The attackers assumed that the Academy, though proud, could be easily overwhelmed. They had not counted on the presence of humans. Eli was briefed quickly. No detailed plans, no hesitation. He moved calmly, observing the incoming fleet through the observation windows. His eyes were steady, his mind alert. Other students trembled and whispered, but Eli's presence had a grounding effect. Even instructors noticed it. Confidence, though quiet, began to return. The external threat landed at the Academy's perimeter. Advanced alien fighters advanced first, testing defenses. The Academy activated shields and automated turrets, but the attackers were skilled. They coordinated their strikes, attempting to break morale by striking unpredictably. Many alien students struggled to respond. Panic flared in the ranks. Eli stepped forward. He did not shout or command. He did not strike immediately. He moved methodically, scanning the battlefield, calculating risk, and anticipating enemy maneuvers. Small groups of alien students followed him, unsure whether to trust their instincts or the human leading silently. The first confrontation came quickly. Enemy soldiers attacked with strange, high-speed weapons. Many Academy students dodged, some were hit, others froze. Eli engaged, moving like a predator trained to survive. His strikes were precise, targeting weak points and using enemy momentum against them. One by one, attackers fell or retreated. His actions were controlled, efficient, and lethal without cruelty. He did not kill unnecessarily, but incapacitated enemies with accuracy. As the battle escalated, students who had once mocked him began to follow his example. They coordinated strikes, used cover, and learned to anticipate attacks rather than respond impulsively. Instructors were amazed. The human had not only survived but had trained others through example. The attackers tried to outflank the Academy, deploying heavy assault mechs. Eli analyzed their movements and led a counter-strategy. He moved rapidly across the battlefield, guiding students to the right positions. Alien forces followed his silent commands, and the mechs were overwhelmed by coordinated attacks. Shields fell, weapons were neutralized, and enemy soldiers surrendered. The battle lasted hours. The Academy sustained minor damage, but thanks to Eli's calm leadership and skill, casualties were minimal. Students who had once underestimated humans were now inspired, observing what careful control, focus, and discipline could achieve. The battle ended with the enemy retreating, humiliated and defeated. After the conflict, the Academy gathered. Students and instructors alike acknowledged the shift in power dynamics. Humans were no longer seen as fragile beings from a dangerous world. They were respected, even revered. Eli did not seek recognition, but his actions had cemented the idea that survival, skill, and discipline could overcome raw strength and technology. Instructors began revising the Academy's combat philosophy. Humans were integrated into training programs not as anomalies, but as benchmarks of resilience and control. Students of all species studied human techniques, observing and learning the combination of instinct, endurance, and precise action that made them so effective. Eli returned to his routine quietly. He trained, observed, and maintained the calm that had guided him through every challenge. He did not boast. He did not demand attention, but the Academy had been changed forever. Fear of humans had transformed into respect, admiration, and cautious curiosity. The lesson was clear: underestimate a human at your own peril. News of the battle spread across the galaxy. Factions debated the implications. Some wanted alliances, others were wary. The presence of humans capable of such feats had shifted perceptions of strength and survival. One human had not only changed the Academy but had also altered the way the galaxy viewed Earth-born beings. Back within the Academy, students trained differently. They observed, learned, and practiced with newfound humility. Instructors taught patience, strategy, and endurance. The Academy had survived a direct assault, not through technology alone, but through the quiet, disciplined actions of a human who had been underestimated, misunderstood, and now recognized as a symbol of survival and mastery. Eli stood silently on the training grounds one evening. The sun of the nearby star reflected off the Academy's walls, casting long shadows. Students moved around him, learning and growing stronger. He remained calm, focused, and watchful, a quiet presence in a changed world. The Academy had been tested. The galaxy had noticed. and humans would never again be considered weak or insignificant. The human who had arrived quietly, average and unassuming, had transformed the Academy's understanding of strength, the respect of its students, and the strategies of its instructors. One being from Earth had shown that survival, skill, and control could overcome fear, doubt, and even overwhelming odds. The lesson of the Deathworld human would endure forever.